Now, coins and banknotes aren't just about value. They're miniature works of art, storytelling tools, and cultural artifacts that transcend generations. But what makes a coin truly collectible, and how do collectors decide which pieces to hold onto? Now, whether you're an experienced numismatist, a casual collector, or just someone who appreciates the beauty of history in your hands, stay with me because today we're making sense of the past, one coin at a time. My name is Yumiko and welcome to Shelf Life. All right, so today I do have Mr. Yip with me, and you are the Mint Director of the Singapore Mint. Welcome.
Thank you.
No, thank you. So I see that, there's a lot of coins that are on display. But first up, I need to know, what does a mint do?
Well, typically a mint coin, there are two kinds of coin, and to be specific. A coin is classified as a medium of exchange issued by the authority or the country's government. So it's an endorsement by the government. We have two kinds. We have circulation coin, the one that we use to go about our daily life, buying things. And we have what we call numismatic or commemorative coin, where we produce it in precious metal to mark an event or a historical moment, and those are collectibles.
I see.
So both of them are actually approved and authorized by the government. So that is what we call a coin. Typically, you can see there's a lot in the market that look like a coin, but they are not. They are actually what we call a commemorative medallion.
Yeah?
And those are not issued by the government. So you have a lot more leeway to actually design such medallion versus a coin.
Ooh, okay, now it really helps me understand it a lot better. And when we talk about the coins or the medallions, right, I noticed that even the local currency, we've got all these little inscriptions on it and stuff like that. How do coin designs come about?
Well, coin design, first thing we have to work with the stakeholder, which the government and the appointed designer, to craft up basically what we call a concept of what we want to portray. The important part is that we have to communicate with the stakeholder. Is that what are you trying to showcase to the, in our case it's Singapore, and what messaging are you trying to put across? So once we have that concept finalized, we will work with the designer to come up with the design. We will start to select images, and that is, once we get the images approved, we will try to incorporate it into a coin. As you know, the coin is very, very small.
Yes, surface area is so small.
So we can't put everything into a coin. So again, that's where our job comes in. We try to look at what is the most important theme that we want to showcase, maximize the use of the small little surface on the coin. At the same time, we also have to bear in mind, right, the designer's dream is normally the manufacturer's nightmare, because we have to also ensure that the technical part is doable. You can have fantastic design, but I can't mint it, there's no point. You can't make it into a coin. So a good coin is one with good design, with a very strong theme coming out. The messaging is very clear. At the same time, it's a coin that is technically feasible to produce.
Okay.
So that will be a good coin.
Right. So once the design has been confirmed and, it kind of makes sense to fit all the little details and specifics onto that surface area, it goes into production.
Yep.
So how are coins made?
Well, we start with what we call a 2D design. Once you approve the design, then we will pass it on to an engraver. In the case of Singapore, it's unlike other countries where they use machine to do the engraving. We still believe in using craftsmen. So we are very, very traditional and old school. Reason for that is that human touch is very important, especially when we do portrait, because the machine can't read the depth of the nose versus the cheek and all that. So you need a human, a person with that intricate skill set to actually do the engraving. Once they've done the engraving itself, we will translate this engraving to a minting tool, which is what we call a die. That itself is quite a few steps. It's too technical actually. But once you have this minting tool, then the next step is quite easy. It hasn't changed for the 200 years. You know, it's pressure against a metal. So you have a piece of silver or gold, well polished, you put it onto the machine, and then with the die mounted, you just press with a hydraulic pressure, maybe 120 to 180 ton for small 1 ounce silver.
Wow.
But if you are talking about a big piece of like 1 kilo ingot, then you might need 800 ton of pressure to get the surface to form.
Right, so it's something like a stamping mechanism where you just press it on, and just to make sure that, you know, it really goes through into the metal before the coin is actually produced, right?
The important part of it is not just stamping it, because you have to make sure that the pressure is distributed evenly. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of starburst effect, and then these are very technical terms. You might even have you know, the thing don't form properly, so that you have half a face, you know, is too shallow and all that when its pressure is not right. So the pressure and the design plays a very important role in getting a good coin. But that's only one part of it. As you know, like silver oxidizes. So we also look at whether there's requirement for coloring. If you want to put color on the coin, we have to send it for coloring. That's another additional step. And after that, we have to do preservation to make sure it doesn't tarnish. And finally, we have to seal it in an acrylic capsule to make sure that it's airtight, waterproof, so that it will last for easily 20, 30 years.
I think I can understand that, because I do actually, personally, I do collect coins that are, I would say, minted 1989. So that's like that little year that we see behind all the coins that we have in circulation right here. Okay, so people like me, we like to collect coins based on the year. So how do you know if a coin is considered collectible?
For a coin to have a potential to appreciate in value, there's few factors that you have to look at. Firstly, you have to look at the mintage. Of course, the smaller the mintage, the more demand the price is going to appreciate. So typically, the precious metal have a smaller mintage like silver and gold. If you are talking about base metal, that is a keepsake. You know, it's just for memory. Normally, it will be very challenging to appreciate in value. Because they make in tens of thousands.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's the first thing. So the mintage is very important. Second is actually what is that central theme, the thematic coin, what is trying to portray? Is it a historical event very significant to the world, or to a specific nation, or to a specific community? So if you appeal to the world, of course, there are more buyers who want to have this coin. So again, you look at the demand side, it drives it up. Then we look at, of course, the craftsmanship, whether the coin was well designed, well engraved, well minted. That is also a very important factor. Then if you look at also the, on top of all this itself, you look at also the, how shall I say, the quality of the material itself. That is also one important factor, whether you preserve it well, because the technical challenge in preserving silver is still very much a big issue for mint. So for us, we have proprietary technology in preserving especially silver, that it doesn't tarnish. It takes a lot more work. And we also have the capsule that is permanently sealed, unlike other mint. So that also preserves the value of it. So there are quite a number of factors, but the main three is actually rarity is one of them.
Rarity.
Yeah. And then you have the theme itself, and whether that thing is the coin is being produced properly.
So with all these different factors coming together to source for that so-called collectible coin, what would you say is considered a commemorative coin right here in Singapore?
Well, in Singapore itself, the most popular one is, of course, the M&A coin, which because we appeal to about 70% of the population in China. But that, to be fair, I have friends who are of other ethnic group. They also want to, because of the Singapore culture, right? They also know that they are born in the year of the snake or the year of the dragon. My Malay friend and my Indian friends, they also associate themselves with, oh, I'm born in the year of the snake, or I'm born in the year of the ox.
That's so cute.
Yeah. So we are truly Singaporean rather than we are Chinese ethnic kind of thing. And it's actually not just a phenomenon in Singapore. Worldwide, a lot of the mint actually also engage in the similar program. So we have the Australian pushing out the same coin, the type of coin. We have Canadian, we have the British. They all cash in because the world wanted this coin. So all of us, we actually produce, this is one of our so-called first, most important coin, numismatic coin for the year, every year.
Right, and I do realize that even in part of your collection, you've got the Bhutan Year of Snake.
Yes.
I saw Macau as well.
Yes.
And they're all very lovely designs that even I myself, I'm born in the Year of the Snake, and I feel like I need to collect these coins because they are considered like limited edition, I would say. And it's very hard to actually acquire coins like these that actually do tell a story. And, even on these coins, you do see a certain architecture that you wouldn't be able to find anywhere else.
Yeah, I think the 3 coin that you mentioned actually is minted by Singapore Mint. And there is actually what we are trying to bring across is not just introduce that Year of the Snake, but also at the same time try to introduce the place of interest of that particular country so that collector actually collect 2 coins at one go. And we are trying to promote tourism in those countries like Bhutan and Macau. I'll give you an example. If you look at the Bhutan coin, there is very ethnic Chinese kind of abstract kind of design. It's very nice, ultra high relief. The technology required to do that is a lot more than the normal coin.
Wow.
But on the flip side of it, is actually a very interesting place in Bhutan that tourists should visit.
Oh.
So we are every year there's a different place that we try to showcase all these famous places that you should visit. Now for the Macau coin, this time round, this is a second series, and the animal is filled with tiles, and these tiles are Portuguese origin, so they have all this almost similar to our Peranakan kind of tiles.
Yes, I remember seeing that.
So these are Portuguese tiles. So it's a lot of heritage behind the type of tiles, the color that we use on the particular zodiac animal. But on the flip side of it, it's actually because Macau has 24 UNESCO sites, so we are on the next 12 UNESCO sites that we're trying to showcase to tell the world, if you are in Macau, this is also one of the places that you should visit, not just the casino.
That makes sense, actually, yeah, because you see it and it really is telling a story, and you have it in your collection as well. But this is all part of what the Singapore Mint actually has in your collection.
Now, in the case of Singapore, because our coin have a coat of arms on one side, so we can't have both sides, right? So what we are trying to do is that we also have this concept of trying to introduce interesting places of Singapore to whoever collects it as one of the coin. So we have this concept that we will match one of the zodiac animal and the backdrop of it is one of the places that you should visit in Singapore. Some of them, even Singaporean, is not very aware of it. So we also try to promote awareness within the country. So if you look at this series, which is the 4th series, for example, the rooster. So when we come out with the concept, we say, what kind of background should we have trying to introduce people with a rooster. So to me, it's like, okay, we have Kampong Bangkok, which is the last kampong in Singapore, you know, where you can see chicken, rooster running around.
You are right, yes.
Right? So, okay, we have that. Then we come to the year of the dog, we look at it and say, where should we do it? I say, wow, you see people walking the dog in Botanic Garden. So we have the Botanic Garden as a backdrop.
That makes sense.
At the same time, it matches, right? But these are all very subtle messages that we are trying to bring out. And then we have the year of the boar or the pig. Then we are like, no, we can't have it on mainland. Then we have Pulau Ubin as a backdrop.
Wow, that's very innovative.
Right? Yes, so we have the Pulau Ubin. So there's a lot of thought going into the design itself. It's not just, I could have picked any other background to
But
put
it
in.
has to come together and tell a full story.
So for this year, we have the year of the snake. So it's a bit challenging, snake.
Yeah.
So, and then we come across, you know, the Henderson Wave Bridge, which is...
Yes, because of the architecture of it.
Right. So, you know, it's a southern ridge, but a lot of people doesn't know it exists. Foreigners love to go there and take photos because it's beautifully constructed. And it actually, the wave actually depicts the movement of the snake. So we selected that as a background. I mean, at one point, you know, at the same time, we are trying to have a zodiac snake. At the same time, we are trying to introduce to the public that, you know, the Henderson Wave Bridge is a beautiful place to go.
It's absolutely mind-blowing. I would have never thought of weaving in the Henderson Bridge to Year of the Snake. But it makes sense because of the architecture, the way it flows as well. I think it would really make a very nice design on a coin or medallion for people to collect. And you know, talking about Singapore Mint, right? I see that you guys have expanded your range and you've got more collectibles, I would say, or rather adorable collectibles, very interesting ones, which I have chanced upon. I do see Sanrio characters. I see, you know, Snoopy, Peanuts as well. So tell me more about this range that you guys have.
Okay, we actually changed our mission statement to, we adopted this thing called more than just coin. So we want to move away, we want to cater to a bigger audience. The market is big enough for us to venture into the so-called, not the serious coin collector, but the IP market. So we have started, for example, we made some of these, like the banknotes, like the Singapore currency series is very well received because it's very nicely printed. Especially like part of the heritage is that if you look at it, we no longer get to see the $10,000 note.
Yes.
Right, we no longer get to see the $1,000
note.
gone,
yes.
Right, so in 2014, the 10,000 is off the market. It's still valid. If you have it, you can still use it. It's a legal tender.
Okay.
And 2021, we removed the 1,000.
1,000, yeah.
Right, so if you want to have an image of it, that's why we have done that. It's also a very good gift to give it to friends overseas or for company that is having an opening, you know, starting a new business. A lot of them come to me and say, I want to buy. I say, give money. They say, how? I say, this is what it is.
Because it's like a what symbol, right? Because you give
all the money, right?
Yes.
But it's not real money, right? So that's one of the things that we actually started to do. At the same time, we have another small company called the Raffles Mint who specialize in IP. So their responsibility is to focus on getting interesting IP like Sanrio's IP and Peanut. So as a result of that, we started to do frames. We have like keychain, and we have also back charms, and even blind box for Hello Kitty, Cinnamon, Kurumin,
I
Peanuts,
see that.
Snoopy.
You know, funny they were talking about blind box because I actually got the previous series.
Yes, that's an ultra rare one.
Yeah, so when I unboxed it, I was absolutely blown away. I never in my life would have thought that I would get the 24K gold-plated ultra rare Sanrio Daruma. Yeah. Like this was actually one of 8, which you know, you can see. It comes in a box of 8, and there's usually one that is, you know, the ultra rare one that you want to get. And you know, blind box is kind of like a trend with the younger generation now. So all these little characters that you have, right, it's trying to invoke a sense of collection for the younger generation, I would say.
We want to appeal to the pop culture. You know, we have moved on. I mean, children's of today is quite different from my time. I mean, it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. And the way they think, you just imagine blind box is not something new. When I grew up as a kid, we have this thing called tikam.
Yes, tikam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you are familiar, don't
Okay, we won't
reveal
reveal
your
our
age.
age. Yes, but I know tikam. Yes.
Yeah. So you have this small piece of paper which is a lucky draw, and then there's a number, and they show you what prize you want. It's same concept. Children love it, youngsters love it, and we have grown up to be men, and we still love it. So blind box is something that is psychologically appealing to people who want to have something, and they know, but they want still to have a little bit element of guessing. So that is what we have done using the IP. It's been a very nice journey. We started the IP program not too long ago.
I think so too, because I see a lot of younger people actually looking to collect and to accumulate their little collection of their gold-plated items as well. And this actually goes a long way, right, to get people interested in collecting gold, appreciating the little things that come, and it puts a smile on their faces because these are characters that the youngsters or kidults do resonate with as well. So it's really very, very interesting. I'm looking forward to more series that's going to come out from Raffles Mint.
Yeah, and then on top of that, we also started a 1 gram gold, pure gold series, and that is to encourage, I would say, the young working class to start saving. I know that now everything is digital, but it's always good to have something physical.
Okay. Now, talking about the little commemorative coins, right? Knowing that this year it is SG60, I would want to know, what does Singapore Mint have in mind?
Well, SG60 is a landmark for the Chinese. 60 years is one lifetime, so it's a very important landmark. That, if I have a chance, I put it in a time capsule.
So this is why the Chinese people will say 60大寿.
Yeah, it's 一甲子, it's 60 years.
Okay, 60 years.
So the thing is that you do not read your fortune after 60. Because you have lived your full life.
Right.
Okay. So 60 to the Chinese is very important. And for a nation, it's also a big thing to celebrate because it's not a short journey. But for Singapore, it's a wonderful journey that we have from a fishing village to what we have today as a modern Singapore. So as the Mint, we are trying to celebrate this with the nation by pushing out a series of this commemorative products that basically help to bring back memories.
Ooh.
Okay, the medallion that we are pushing out is called the Jalan Jalan Through Heritage Neighborhood Series.
That's so
it's a
cute.
bit mouthful, but we call it the Jalan Jalan series. What we are trying to do is to focus on a few old estate, what it is today versus what it is, what it was 60 years ago.
Okay. So how many coins or medallions of this?
We have 4. We have identified 4 areas. So we have Toa Payoh, Changi, we have Tiong Bahru, we have Queenstown.
Oh, those are very good.
These are the first
They
HDB
are.
estate. Right?
Yeah.
And then we're trying to go back and dig out photos. It's not easy. Thanks to the news, which is SPH, we have actually a lot of archive document and photos.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
So because of that, we were able to extract some of these archive photos, and also, of course, the National Heritage Board helped us. And we can showcase, for example, the concept of how to have that contrast to show people that 60 years we have this dynamic growth and change, so that the children is able to appreciate where the forefather was and then today. So I give you an example like Toa Payoh. We identified Toa Payoh. Toa Payoh, we have on one side the modern Toa Payoh, of course the iconic, the dragons.
The dragon playground,
The
right?
dragon playground, right? It's actually the slide. And in fact, that was been replicated in other other estate, but of course Toa Payoh was the first.
Original.
Original. Everybody can associate with that. Of all the nice building and all that. But on the flip side of it, we actually show attap houses in Toa Payoh 60 years ago. And you have the Samsui woman working, trying to build the HDB block.
What?
So at the same time, we were trying to also give credit to people who are actually foreigners coming to Singapore, work very hard to help us to do nation
What we
building.
are today, right?
Yeah. So we also show our appreciation of the Samsui woman. So it's very iconic, and I hope that children will ask the question of who is this old lady here, or this lady with this headdress, so that the cultural heritage can progress onward. It's like passing the baton of history to the next generation.
It is true. So these jalan coins that you're talking about, do they come encased?
Yes, they do.
It's the one that we've got right in front,
Yep.
right? Yeah. So it comes encased, and you've got designs front and back.
Yep.
Okay, so the one you told me was Toa Payoh. What can I look forward to in the Tiong Bahru coin?
Okay, Tiong Bahru is a little bit more challenging.
Yes, I grew up in Tiong Bahru.
Okay, you are familiar, the building never changed.
Never changes.
I was trying to look for some iconic new stuff. There is no trains, MRT, right? The building literally was
It is as it is, yeah.
So what we are trying to actually showcase the old and the new of Tiong Bahru was using people. Because in the olden day, the people were on the street selling stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, so they have their
The push carts, that little stick that they carry around the
Right,
baskets
right.
and stuff. Yeah, I remember
the
that.
pian tan, they call it that.
Oh, pian tan. Okay.
Yeah. So they were. You can see those in the morning. They will bring out their food stuff and all the stuff to sell. So in the old Tiong Bahru, you have all that, and it's very bustling, very busy. Today, the modern Tiong Bahru is clean, a little bit more quiet. You don't have all this stuff. So it's one of the most challenging, but we have to use Tiong Bahru because it's also one of the first housing estate. And a lot of people have good memories of it. And I'm sure the collector, they look at it and say, yeah, those were the days, and now, yes. And I hope that the people who actually get to see this medallion, they actually make an effort to actually visit the place, to have, at least infused in that neighborhood.
I feel that people should really go back to all these estates, all these little towns that we've got in Singapore, and to take a picture of them in there. Because like you mentioned, right, 60 years is a very long time. And if they do it right now, who knows what's going to happen in 10 or 20 years. And looking back, having all these 4 coins as part of your Jalan series, it's something that really makes Singaporean Singapore. Right?
Yes.
Or Singaporeans. It's everything that's blended together, a piece of history, a piece of story that you can keep with you as well.
There's a lot out there. I mean, even on my way here, we drive past Toa Payoh, and I just highlight to my guys, I say, look, that particular HDB is where Queen Elizabeth went up. And they were like, oh, I say, yeah, that's part of our heritage, our history. I know it, but my son doesn't know it.
Yes, so it's always passing on that history knowledge and to share that love story that we've got right here in Singapore as well. So thank you so much, Mr. Yip. It's absolutely amazing. I think if you even want to look at all of their products, you can actually look at www.singaporemint.com, right? It's been so fun, and I hope to have you back soon in the next few episodes. All right, it is The Shelf Life, and thank you so much. We'll catch you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.